Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. First, I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey, this channel, this ever-growing tribe. I am truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you will find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. Follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member. And I would love to see you on memberships, but if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. Really quickly, if you hear a lot of noise, I had started this video, but the wind started whipping like crazy, and my awning was flying around like crazy, and I didn't want it to get broke, and so I had to stop and go and put that in. And it is starting to rain, and this is a very freezing rain. It's the coldest rain that I think I've felt in a while, and so I was out there trying to put it in, but it is raining right now, so you may hear some noises and stuff. The wind just got really crazy, so hopefully things will calm down. It was seriously, we went from sunny to rain in like 2.2 seconds. It totally reminded me of growing up in Colorado, and so just, yeah, I miss it, but it just took me by surprise. So today's reading, we are doing Something Big is Coming. We are using the Alchemy, the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Kranz. She's kind of been in my mind all week this week, so we're going with it. Let's get your prayer underway, and let's just hop to this reading and find out what is that big something coming to you. All right. A little out of breath. I was running around outside. Have the heater on now so I can hopefully warm up. Oh, life is great. Life is good. All right, my beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading. Sometimes life throws us some big surprises, and we're not prepared for them. We're not even ready for them, but they can be pleasant surprises, and they can be overwhelming surprises, and sometimes it's just helping us to get back on our feet, and sometimes it's helping to redirect us back to the path that we're meant to be on. So I ask at this time that you remind us that those surprises are necessary. Even though some of us don't like surprises, even so some of us are really like not okay with the transitions that happen, but that they are necessary, and that they are something beautiful that can bring in so much change and so much clarity and so much excitement further on down the line. It's just a process. Help us to stay calm, cool, and collected. Help us to find our center. Help us to listen to our intuition and do what is necessary for ourselves as we move forward. And help us stay true to our path, always guiding us with love and light, so that we too may step on the road and the path of unconditional love. As these words are spoken onto this reading and onto this collective, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right, I'm going to open the window a tad. Let some of the incense out. Okay, so I already gave these a shuffle. I'm going to do my best to shuffle these for a card for you. They are huge and my hands are tiny. So, all right, source, for pile number 1, what alchemy oracle card will help us better understand the something big that is coming for pile number 1? Thank you. Right off the bat. All right, and source, for pile number 2, what alchemy oracle card will help us better understand the something big that is coming for pile number 2? The something big that is coming for pile number 2, Source. What alchemy card will help us better understand the something big that is coming for pile number 2? Okay, thank you. And for pile number 3, Source, what alchemy oracle card will help us better understand the something big that is coming for pile number 3? Wow, not the whole deck. Okay. What is the something big that is coming for pile number 3, Source? What is the something big that is coming for pile number 3? Too many. What is the something big that is coming for pile number 3, Source? Thank you. All right. And on the bottom, we have the moon, Luna. So definitely healing. And I feel like this is also that reminder to connect with both our inner mother and our inner child. And that's a powerful message, especially at this time and where we're at. Okay, I think I'm going to turn these like so. Okay. I think this one should go. Oh, that was good. Okay. There we go. Make sure we're in frame. For pile number 1, we do have this beautiful amethyst for you to choose from. Okay, pile number 2, we have this beautiful piece of pyrite for you to choose from. And pile number 3, we have this beautiful clear quartz for you to choose from. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever one you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And with that being said, I'll see you on over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of amethyst, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, and this is going to be your reading on something big is coming. Well, first, I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey, this channel, this ever-growing tribe. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out, what is this something big that is coming for pile number 1, Source? What is this something big that is coming for pile number 1? What would you like to let us know today, Source? What is this something big that is coming for pile number 1? We have the first house, we have Capricorn energy and the moon. And if you didn't catch the shuffle, on the bottom of the deck, we got the moon. So I love that that is already a synchronicity here. The dualistic nature of life. The in and the out. And the first house is Aries energy. We have Capricorn and we have Cancer energy coming out. Sun, moon, rising, or Venus. You could have any of those. I also heard a Cancer in Jupiter and a Sagittarius in Jupiter. Okay, and it's home rule. The something big has to do with how much you've been working on yourself. Not only have you been healing and letting go of those subconscious blockages and those subconscious patterns that have been keeping you from manifesting what you desire and really creating that life that you desire, right? It really does look like you've put in a lot of hard work and determination into yourself. So healing, finding out who you are, uncovering and discovering that inner child, and really allowing yourself to grow from that energy. And the something huge that's coming has to do with that. So this could be an actual transition in your appearance, your physical appearance. This could be a transition in the way that you present yourself to the outside world. Like you're finally feeling comfortable enough inside to let that show outside. This could be in a way that you express yourself, and this could be in a way where you take leadership over a certain group of people or over people in your community, or where you're just seen as a leader. And we see here how diligent you've been, how hardworking you've been. And maybe at times you were very rigid with yourself or cynical with yourself, and maybe very hard on yourself as well. And it looks like that's something that you're overcoming step by step. It's not something that came in really fast. It's not something that just like, whoosh, it's done with. This is literally you taking that methodical journey to self-discovery. And this might not seem like a big deal, but if you've been on this journey for a long time, maybe there's a part of you that's like, when am I going to see things change? When am I going to see the fruit of my efforts? When am I going to see things as they have impacted me in a positive way? And I feel like that's coming. I feel like that's what's coming into your life right now, is this actual seeing the shift. Seeing that like all that healing has added up to this one moment where I'm finally setting a very solid boundary. Where I'm not taking disrespect. Where I'm not taking anybody's crap. Where I'm not taking any, anything less than what I deserve. And you're seeing this now. And not only are you seeing it, but other people are seeing it too. They're like, whoa, holy crap, like, pile one, you're entirely different than you used to be. And you're like, yeah, I've been diligently working on figuring out what my trauma has been and why it's held me back, or like why have you let that fear guide me, and the why and the what and the how behind it, and letting that go. And this is very, very, very emotional for you as well. I feel like when you finally set those boundaries that you've been so afraid to set at one point in time in your life, or when you finally stand up for yourself in a way that's kind and compassionate and just you're unbothered by it. It's just, this is what I do now. I really feel like it's going to be an emotional moment for you where you're just like, oh my gosh, I did it. And I didn't even think twice about it. I didn't even like sit there and like, oh my gosh, did I say the wrong thing? Did I do this? Get stuck in your head about it. That's what it feels like here. So let's find out some more about this. Let's see if Source can kind of build on this for us and give us a bigger picture here. So Source, what is this something big coming for pile number one? What is this something big coming for pile number one? Can you tell us some more? This is something big that is coming for pile number one. Okay, thank you. What is this something big that's coming for pile number one? Yeah, you're going to be in the state of receiving your blessings as well. Like, it's going from the state of being active and moving towards your blessings to a state of receiving now. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so Source, what is this something big coming for pile number one? Thank you. What is this something big coming for pile number one? Thank you. Yeah. And don't worry about the reversals. It's just telling us the story. We're trying to figure out what the story is here, right? And on the bottom, we have the 6 of Swords. What's under that? Okay, we've got the 3 of Wands. You know, this is really interesting with the Chariot here. It's like finally feeling that spiritual victory that you've been looking for so long. And even if you're not on the spiritual journey, this could just be personal development, or maybe you've been working with a therapist, or you've been, you know, going to some sort of support group and they've been helping you, or you've been taking some sort of classes or coaching, and it's like finally feeling the shift from worrying about every step that you're taking and worrying about rocking the boat, and seeing a clear path forged ahead for you because of the tools and the resources that you have learned along the way. It's like, I understand now the importance of taking care of myself. And this is something that's big for you. I feel like maybe for a long time there was a lot of fear that was connected to this. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of fear that was connected to this. But I feel like the thing is that it's like now you're recognizing that fear of maybe people pleasing or worrying about what was going on with others or how others were viewing you, like you just don't, it's not the first thought anymore. That's what this really feels like. Yeah, look at this. We got the 5 of Swords, the Nameless card, and the 6 of Cups all in the reverse. There's been a lot of negativity that's surrounded you for a long time. People who have, like, no matter what, can't say a positive thing, right? Like the 5 of Swords in the reverse is a very interesting story, because it's like this energy of where it's like no matter how good things look, there's always a negative Nelly, right? And that's exactly that type of energy. And it's like you've been surrounded by that. And it's like, how do I cut this out? But in trying to figure out how to free yourself from this, it also left you in a state of stagnancy and complacency in some ways. It's just like, oh my gosh, this negativity, can we just let it go? Can we just get over it? Can we just get through it? Can we just, you know, be somewhere else? Can we just do something else? And it was putting you in this state of like unable to move forward because it was so much. There was just so much. And that makes sense as to why we have the first house that's coming out, because this was keeping you from expressing your truth. This is keeping you feeling like no matter what you do, you always have these failed relationships or failed connections because of this negative energy. And this could be even self-thoughts based on a situation that you grew up in, being fed negativity all the time, and then that negative voice becomes your subconscious, right? And so to get over this, it was something that took a lot of effort and energy. And you're bringing this to a close now, and trying to find that balance has been grueling work, right? Especially with Capricorn energy here. We see this has taken a long time. And I feel like for some of you, it's just this energy of like, I just want to know when this is going to work. I just want to know when this is going to help shift my life, because everybody says if I do these things that one day I'll be able to stand up for myself in an effective way, and I'll be able to say no in an effective way, and I'll be able to say what's on my mind in an effective way. And it feels like you've gone forward, gone back, gone forward, gone back. It's like you might have a moment where you say something, but then it's like as soon as you say it and you go home, you're analyzing it over and over again, worrying about it, worrying like, oh my gosh, did that affect the other person? Did that do this? Did that do this? And that's what they're saying they want you to focus on, is the positive outcome here, that you have learned the lesson. And the something big that's coming is freedom of mind. Yeah, freedom of mind and freedom of thought. Freedom from the past as it once was. It's a transformation. You'd have Pluto in Scorpio. You could have the 6th house in Scorpio. The 9th house in Scorpio too. Let's get some clarifiers and see what comes through. Source, can we please clarify the 5 of Swords? This is a bigger picture here. The Knight of Swords, being your own hero. Rushing in to save yourself from yourself. It's interesting because she made this paper bird here, right? And if it were to rain, this paper bird would fall out of the sky. And I feel like that's maybe how you felt for so long, is very fragile. This sense that I can't do anything without falling apart, or I can't do anything without someone outside of me creating a situation or drama or chaos. We also have Aquarian energy here together, right? This is Aquarius energy and this is Aquarius energy as well. And so you have this energy of, it's like people who are very, very harsh or judgmental, or maybe a little too weird and outside of the box, thinking that you were too weird and outside of the box. And so it's like having to become okay with that. Finding other people who are on the journey with you, or seeking other people, like the soul tribe, right? May please clarify the Death card? The Six of Wands. Finding allies. Finding like-minded people. That's the thing, it's like I was saying earlier with this, is, but it's like you're finding people who are different and as equally weird as you in the weirdest places. It's not in places that you would normally think that these people would be at. Right, look, you're on a paper crane and they're riding a mosquito. Right? Like that's just, it's like they're doing something different than you, but it's equally as outrageous as your whatever it is that you do, or how you see life, or how you express life. And so it feels like there's people who are coming in here where it's like you're really just gonna be yourself with them, and it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if people agree with that. It doesn't matter if people don't agree with that. Like there's people here who are just like so glad that you're you. And that's the freedom coming as well, because it's like the shift in seeing yourself is what brings you into a space to receive people who are like you, to receive soul tribe, or just even people who you lead, right? We were talking about leading. With Aquarius, you could have an online platform. You don't have to. You could be a mental health coach. You could be a relationship coach or a therapist yourself. Like it's interesting because I keep getting like therapy energy here. And so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you are a psychologist, a psychiatrist. What's the other one? A physiologist? Is that right? I don't know if that's right, but that's what I'm hearing. So, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were actual coaches in some way, or helping others, and I'm feeling left out because of that. Like, you know, I don't really have anybody to talk to about this stuff with, or, you know, like I'm helping people, but I don't feel like I have anybody to connect to really, because it's still a doctor and their patient, or it's a coach and their coachee. You know, their trainee, maybe that's a better way to put it. Can we please clarify the Six of Cups here? So it's like feeling ostracized, or feeling alone, or feeling like you don't belong. And finally, as you shift and you say, it's like, I'm tired of being in this negative place. I'm tired of seeing myself as not worthy. I'm tired of putting myself in these situations, right? Because we have to choose to let go of that thought. We have to choose to let go of that belief. And it's not our fault. Like, that's not what this is. It never was our fault that we believe that way. It's just we're responsible for letting it go, which sometimes is overwhelming. Because it's like, oh, it's not my fault, but why am I the one that has to take care of it? But also, it gives you peace of mind because it's like you get to take care of it. Right? Like you get to face that part of yourself and choose a different way. And that's what this feels like here. You're choosing a different way. You may also see 666 quite a bit. And that's talking about seeing yourself through eyes of love, finding balance, harmony, resolution, taking care of things, balancing it all out. Yeah, the Two of Wands. Seeing yourself for the first time. That's what this feels like. Understanding the duality in life and in yourself. knowing that some things are really, really amazing. And of course, we will always want to share the amazing parts of ourselves with people, but I think most of us desire deep down to have somebody to share the not so amazing things with. And that's what this feels like here. It feels like you're going to have people where you can share the not so pretty things with, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, somebody gets it. Pile one gets it. I'm so glad they get it. On the bottom, we have the hangman here. And so a shift in perspective. That's exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. This shift in perspective. Seeing things in a different way. Also noticing the duality. The good and the bad. The beautiful, the ugly. One is not separate from the other. They belong together. That's what it means to be human. That's what it means to be on this journey. But sometimes that's scary too. Let's get some oracles out. House 9, spiritual growth. So yeah, this is all having to do with whatever journey you've taken. And again, it doesn't have to be spiritual. But I was saying, like, the 9th house was coming in so strong earlier in the reading, and I'm not surprised to see it on the bottom of the deck over here, because it's just this energy of healing a portion of yourself through what could be therapy, it could be self-awareness, it could be presence, it could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be different modalities. But all of those modalities, they all lead to the same place, and that's self-discovery. And self-discovery in and of itself is very spiritual, because we're connecting with our innermost self. We have the judge. The judge, the jury, and the executioner. That's what it felt like earlier. Like, there's a part of yourself that was very judgmental, and I was saying that earlier. This is so synchronistic. We've got the light attributes, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power, and the shadow is offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority, offering only destructive criticism. That's what it felt like earlier. You might have grown up in an environment where it was like, no matter how positive the situation was, everyone always had something negative to say, that negative Nelly energy. That's what it felt like. I mean, and strong too. It was really strong energy. We have the fox spirit. Think on your feet. Didn't I say freedom of mind, freedom of thought, free to be you? To think on your feet, it's like letting go of these old beliefs. We have number 9 again, bringing something to a close. There's something really powerful about knowing the placement of your 9th house. Like, I feel like that's going to help you understand this portion of your journey even further. Look, fog with veiled. Yeah, what you couldn't see clearly is now being brought forth for you. Like, this could have been a judgment for someone else too, that maybe you didn't see the truth of who they were, and that's no big deal. Like, we're humans, we're allowed to make mistakes, right? We're allowed to not get it right. Everybody does. But I feel like if it's not, it's like a situation that you couldn't see clearly, and now suddenly you're able to see it clearly. Angel. No, baby. Thank you. The sun is shining. It's opening up to the truth. So there's something big. It has to do with bringing in like-minded individuals. Angel. Stop, baby. Thank you. And peace. Ooh, I love this. Like, putting down the mask. Putting down the battle. Like, it's no longer going to battle with yourself, no longer going to battle for this identity that you held so dear at one point, right? And that's the emotional ego holding on to it, because it's only knowing this. Hit the camera. Yeah, not seeing clearly again. Right? So we can't blame ourselves for our emotional ego being the way that it is. The emotional ego does that so that it protects us. So we have Afrael and Beletza falling out here with 23. A fresh wind is blowing into your life. Believe in your divine guidance and recognize all the gifts along your path. So definitely there are gifts that are coming, and I feel like Source does want to leave you with some surprises as well. You know, not everybody likes surprises, but Source does like to surprise us. We have Saga, and this is a very long name. Sheila Shagthon. Okay, and it says, drink from the holy water of wisdom. From now on, follow the way of self-awareness. Be like water, flow freely and unhindered along your path. Wow. So this is self-awareness, and that's what I was saying earlier. Just this energy of self-awareness is very strong that's coming through. So I feel like something big that's coming is total radical self-awareness for who you are and where you're going. No longer questioning the journey. Just knowing this is my direction and I'm going this way. We have digital escape. Dive into digital worlds where reality's rules bend and refresh your mind. Switch on and zone out. So there might be an energy here where you do need to kind of like zone out from the hard work. Like life is not all about work either. Even though it's so important for us to do what is necessary for us, but it is okay to have those moments of free time. Like schedule free time. Shoot, we need to go back to the days where we have recess. Even for adults, like jobs should have a recess, not just a lunch break, but we should have a recess, right? We should, instead of a 15-minute break, give us a recess. Give us a 20-minute recess. Put a big old playground in the office, right? So we can just like get our creative juices flowing. We have harmony, cultivate harmonious relationships. And that's the thing. You're recognizing that these relationships that failed in life or that weren't panning out, they weren't harmonious. There was no balance. There was someone who was giving more, and the chances of that was you were the one that was giving so much to those relationships. How can that be balanced? But here you did something. You're coming into a space where it's like now you're cultivating these more harmonious relationships. Also, Source, again, with the TV in the background of this card is like saying, for those of you that feel really guilty about taking time to watch maybe Netflix or taking time to watch your favorite movies or even play your favorite games, like, don't feel guilty. You don't have to be on fleek 100% of the time. Like, you just don't. Like, you're allowed to be human. You're allowed to enjoy. In fact, we want to enjoy our lives, right? Angel number 555. Transformation. Release old habits. Embrace new opportunities for growth and trust in the universe's plan for you. You're letting things go. And actually, it wouldn't surprise me if you resonated with one of the daily dice from this last week. We got 5 in it, like from 2 different cards came out with the number 5 from the angel deck. It was absolutely stunning. But there's a huge transformation. We talk about something big coming. What's the change that's coming? You're calling in soul tribe. You're calling in like-minded people. You're calling in a leadership position. For some, you're calling in love. I feel for the most of you, pile 1, it's not about love. It's more about having just people in your life that actually care. Like, if it's romance, cool. If it's friendship, cool. It's just, I just want someone who actually gives a darn about me the way I give a darn about them, right? Yeah, we have silence on the bottom. Keep silence, coercion, and hint. And I feel like this is something that you've had to keep silent, what it is that you've done, the healing that you've done, the growth, the process. There's just not a lot of people will understand the journey that you're on, and that's okay. Now that we've got a grip of oracle cards here. Sextile, look, a combination of tension and flow, potential in a rewarding situation. Yeah, so it has been difficult, but when you recognize this dualistic nature within you and without, right? So both that's something that resides within our hearts, but it's also something that is mirrored back to us many, many times in life. Understanding that, then you begin to see, oh my gosh, like I've learned so much from that, which is the reward from a place where we once were in an energy of tension. We didn't want to do that, but that's how you flow. There's something about flowing with life suddenly. It's just not even questioning how to stand up for yourself, not even questioning what to say for yourself any longer, just comes naturally and freely. Companion, look, I can't make this stuff up. We have loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, and the shadow is betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. I think my glasses are a little dirty here. I'll clean them. I got rained on when I was outside. I thought I did a good job cleaning them, but I guess, I'm human too. I was reading from the bottom of them, and I didn't get the bottom. Stag spirit, take the lead. Coming into leadership. And maybe they are clean because they look clean. Yeah. It's just my eyes. So source, again, putting that out. There's something here with companionship that you weren't seeing clearly, or someone in your life that maybe you weren't seeing clearly, like we saw with the fog and the veiled. Okay, I see now. And then we have stag spirit would take the lead. That place of leadership is coming in, right? Being in the spotlight. Some of you are trying to be a leader, and you're coming into a place where you're going to be in the spotlight. Brown bear spirit, take time out. Look at that again. You might have to take time to escape. Like, there's something here where it's like integration is necessary, and it's like you keep going and you keep working, you keep doing things, and you keep grinding and grinding and grinding, but there's no space for integration. Earth magic with the fairies. My apologies. I need a drink. Oh, so thirsty. Okay. Nurturing yourself. Right? And I think that me taking a drink at that moment is one of those key points of how you nurture yourself. Sometimes you have to put things on hold to care for yourself. And I feel like that's something that not just you, but maybe the whole collective struggles with, because we've always been told to put everyone else's needs first. And so this card really talks about finding some place to nurture, something to nurture. Plants are a good place to start. Like, if you nurture plants, they'll show you that they feel that nurturing by giving you love back and growing. So if you give that love to yourself, how is that going to affect your life? And that's something that you're coming into realizing. We have 33 here with chameleon and change. So the two numbers that are really, really standing out are 6 and 9. Maybe you were born on the 9th day, the 6th day in the 9th month, or the 6th month. That could mean something really powerful for you as well. But again, no longer blending in, allowing yourself to stand out, to be center stage. There's a change that's happening here. Contours of dreams. Shape your dreams with the clay of your actions. Today's effort, sculpt tomorrow's achievements. Mold your destiny with each choice. And this is what I was saying at the beginning. It's like you've done something diligently, and now you're reaping the benefits of that, right? At one point, this was just something you imagined, and now you're seeing it in action. Mental mastery. You will master a skill that enhances your mental acuity and analytical abilities. Focus on skill refinement and excel in execution. So this is of the mind. When we're talking about self-awareness, is very much a master of the mind, right? Understanding ourselves inside and out so that we grow. It was 30:33 on the clock while I was talking about that. We have gemstone trap. Amidst sparkling treasures, the brightest jewel often hides the deepest cut. Seek worth, not shine. Understanding your worth here. Not all things that glitter are gold, right? I feel like you're learning that the hard way, or you have learned that the hard way, especially with friendships. Creativity. Tap into your creative potential. Okay. Manifest your dreams. 4, 5, 6. You have the power to make things happen. It's time for you to take action with faith and confidence, knowing that your angels are guiding and supporting you every step of the way. You're manifesting change. Newborn evolution. Your life is this really does feel like, pile one, that you are stepping into a new timeline, or you're doing quantum jumping or quantum leaping, if you know what that means. Or you're just opening yourself up to allowing your new destiny to take form. Hope, wish, expect, and desire. Yeah, so your desires are coming true. You're manifesting them. My ear just started ringing. Sing, soul, sing praise and performance. And I feel like this is just that reminder to keep saying thank you for everything that you have, because that's going to help you manifest faster. And we have encounter, meeting by chance, love at first sight, and crush. So for some of you, it is about love. Like there's going to be someone that comes in that you fall in love with, and it's going to be a beautiful story for you. Let's take a look at your oracle card. I'm going to read this from the book. Wow. This was actually the very first card that I got when I got this deck. So it's funny. We have saying like, I can't say the Latin word right now. I'm just not even going to try. I was done. We have blood here though. This is 37. Like, and you have like this garnet. I think that's a garnet. It looks like a garnet there. But again, the jewel, right? And talking about the deepest cut. Look at this synchronicity of these two. This red jewel, right? This garnet on top. This bloodstone. It's like a very deep, this is a very deep wound for you. This is something that took a long time to heal. And it's like, is this ever going to shift for me? And you're finally seeing things shift. And I think it's surprising for you too when it happens. It's almost like you don't want to believe that it's happening. But you also can't deny it either. It says the poles, physicality, and the body. We have the blood card brings vitality to an entire reading. When it is present, it is as if all the other cards come alive and begin to grow. It says, take note of how much red is within a reading. This indicates the vigor present in the querent's world. If the palette is dull, it's likely the spirit needs support. I mean, there's a lot of color. It's not really dull, but I don't think we had a ton of red out. I think that was just these two cards really with the red. Have no fear, the blood card. It indicates a remembrance of the vital mammalian nature of our existence. Drop by drop, this sacred elixir reminds us that we are alive, not merely thinking beings, but being beings. When blood is the prima materia in the laboratory, the alchemist uses the physical body as a starting point, building a relationship to the container that houses the spirit. That's what we were talking about, like you're healing your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul, the physical container. Through the limbs, the organs, the cells, we witness the miracle of life, one heartbeat at a time. Eventually, the alchemist naturally partakes in practices that support and nourish blood's life-giving nature. We learn to honor and protect it. In alchemy, red is the color vitality and radiance. With this card, you've dropped into the vital realm. Look, I can't make this up. It says, sing the body's praises. And we have sing praise with this card. Wow. Oh, I love that. It says, to go deeper, listen to the song Blood Bank by Bon Iver, and to ponder the presence of the pulse. That's amazing. So there's a lot of vitality that's coming. I feel like you've been really tired. You've worked really hard. There's been a lot at stake for you, and you've come a long way. And now it's remembering that all that hard work, it means something. And this is the big change that's coming for you. Oh, this is such a cool reading, actually. Really loved it. So if this is your reading, leave the red heart emoji down below and say, I choose to thank myself, my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul for showing up each and every day, knowing that I am making progress now. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box below. You can email me for a personal reading. Follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member, and I would love to see you on membership. So if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow humans. If you were called to this piece of fool's gold. Or if you resonated with this card during the shuffle, and this is going to be a reading on something big is coming. It's weird. I do have a channel message for you, but it's so funny because I started and I almost lost where I was going with everything, which is fine. It's just I have a channel message, but let me get through the intro and then I'll tell you your channel message. So for anyone that is returning, thank you so much for continuing the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be here with you, and anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're here sharing this human experience together. And this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. Now, the channel message that I got for you, if they're going to let me get it out, is that you have a lot of new beginnings coming. Like huge beginnings. A new beginning in potentially love. A new beginning in an inner truth, an outer truth, in desires, in manifestations. Like the list is huge, but there's just a lot of new beginnings coming in for you, pile 2. I feel like this is something that you've been waiting on for a long time. But that was the energy that I got. But let's find out some more about it and get into it. So, Source, what is the something big coming for pile number 1? What is the something big that's coming for pile number 1, Source? What is the something big that's coming for pile number 1? Whoa. Okay, wow. We've got the first house, Gemini, and Mars energy. This is interesting. So definitely got a lot of Aryan energy out here. Gemini energy, talking about communication, adaptation, learning, the way you think, the way you feel, take rational and logical action. Okay. And the first house came out in pile number 1 too. So you might be here from pile number 1. And if you are, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, this is talking about how you are putting yourself out there. But not just that, it's like how you communicate for yourself. Right? This is about how you communicate for yourself. And pile number 1 was about how they are now able to stand up for themselves, which I guess may sound like the same thing, but it's really not, because this is like a shift in your overall demeanor. This is a shift in your overall way of communicating. You're no longer in this place of like, oh, you know, of course I'm going to tell my truth. Of course I'm going to speak to myself authentically. Of course I'm going to share myself authentically. This is like that actual shift where things are now very clear to you. It's like if something isn't serving you, you just very freely are like, hey, you know, I don't really appreciate this, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. And you speak your truth. And I feel like this is also saying like something big that's coming is being able to stand up and speak publicly to people. So this could be an offer for you as well, where someone's going to ask you to say, hey, can you come and lead this group for me? Can you do this? I heard group lecture. Like that was so loud right now, group lecture. So maybe a professor is going to come and ask you to do a group lecture for someone, or there's someone in town at the community center who wants you to do a group lecture. It just really feels like there's going to be someone who comes to you and says, hey, I love the way that you present things. You do it in a very clear, concise manner. You do it in a very intelligent way, but in a way that's very easily accessible to everyone. Can you do this for me? And I feel like this is something that is exciting for you. It does feel like this is something that a lot of competition is in as well. So it's like whatever you're being offered, or even this could be your job. This could be your business. It's like, might be a saturated market, but you're being seen above everybody else. Because of the way you show up. Because of you speaking your truth. Because of you sharing your ideas. Because of you sharing what you've learned. That's what this really feels like. It's sharing what you've learned with others. So it's like you went away, you learned how to practice it, you took care of yourself, you learned your all about yourself and how you needed to be for you. And now you're coming into this place of being able to share it with others in a unique way. It's very unique. This is a very unique opportunity, it feels like. And it's going to help you network. I feel like this is something you're incredibly passionate about too. Yeah, you're definitely going to be a leader. Definitely coming into this place of being able to command a presence. That's what we're going with. That's what it is. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's get some cards out and see what else comes through. All right. Source, what is this something big that's coming? Look, I split the deck. We have the King of Coins and the World card coming out. Yeah, this is boss energy, and it's going to pay you well. And this is the completion of a cycle for you, letting things go, finishing out all those processes that were holding you back. Walking into the gate. So let's see, Source, what is the something big that's coming for pile number 2? What is the something big that's coming for pile number 2? No longer worrying about people if they're emotionally unavailable. I feel like for some of you, yeah, networking is definitely a huge thing. Okay, so for some of you, it feels like maybe people who were not emotionally available, that might have been a big trigger for you. Okay? And it's like, like these people again. But now it's like you've stepped out of that and you're in this place of like, okay, well, that person obviously can't come and show up in a way that I need them to, so I'm just going to move on. Like, unbothered by it. There we go. You're unbothered by it. Source, what is the something big that's coming for pile number 2? Okay, thank you. What is the something big that's coming for pile number 2? Balancing out the scales of justice. You made a choice of how you saw your thoughts, how you saw the way you communicated with others. You know, it's interesting. I'm going to be real for a second here because this is an energy that's coming in. Pile 2, wouldn't surprise me if at some point in your life you were a ghoster. And I'm not calling you out. That's not what this is. It's not like, oh, you shouldn't have ghosted people. No, like, but we have to honor our own mistakes, right? When that's part of this journey is honoring like part of the places that we have traveled through on our own journey. And that's what it feels like. Like, I feel like a part of you, you might have been a ghoster. Maybe you didn't know you were a ghoster until you started healing. And then you were like, wow, I really just like pieced out on people and never told them why. And so I feel like that taught you something very valuable about the way that you choose to show up in relationships now. And it might not have been ghosting, but it could have been maybe you were very aggressive with people, or maybe you were very like when you were triggered that it was very easy to take it out on others. You know, there's something here that was like a toxic pattern that was on play, and it had to do with the way you talked with others. And that's something that has since been healed. And in healing that, it's given you the courage to show up in the way that you've always wanted to when it comes to relationships and connections and even just talking to people. So Source, what is the something huge that's coming? Yeah. We have the 6 of Coins in the reverse showing. Source, what is the something huge coming for pile 2? Thank you. All right. We have the Temperance in the reverse on the bottom. Something that was very hard for you to heal from. Could have been an addiction as well. Something that was unbalanced, right? But you've worked at it. Yeah, my eye is tripping out right now. You've worked at it. And you built something that was stable. And instead of conforming to the way that this was, or conforming to the way that society was, like you chose a different route. We have the 10 of Wands in the upright. And so this could be someone in your energy or someone that's been with you through a lot of that. This could even be like a spouse, right? The 10 of Wands in the upright in the Tarot Marseille talks about being with someone through thick and thin and growing stronger because of it. You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me for some this is like a spouse where it's like you didn't know if you were going to stay together because of both of your toxic traits or because of both of your toxic patterns that you were carrying on. And then finally coming into this place of like, I really need to work on myself. I really need to build myself up. I really need to find some sort of stability and foundation and let go of those karmic patterns that keep manifesting physically. But this was something that was very unbalanced. This is something that was very hard to do. But in doing that, you may have become closer to this person. I know it's a very specific message, but it's still talking about whatever it is. There was something here that was very unbalanced and you didn't want to heal for a long time. It was almost like it was very seductive to the emotional ego. So let's see here. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Wands in the reverse, self-sabotage. Look, and the World came back out in the reverse this time. Yeah, so this is talking about how somewhere along the way you recognize the patterns were actually keeping you from your desires and your manifestations, right? And I think it's hard because so many people want someone to blame, but there is really no one to blame on this journey. I mean, of course you can always point the finger. You know, I grew up with this idea is like, if you point the finger at someone, there's always 3 that are pointing back at you. So we need to triple check ourselves. It was something I figured out when I was really young. Now, practicing it was a whole nother story, right? Of course it was. I was young and dumb and blissfully ignorant and, you know, but that's something that I feel like is coming up for your reading is like you had to really become acutely aware of yourself, especially with the first house here is like understanding yourself and in what ways were you maybe conceited or were you not seeing the truth? In what ways were you not giving to others in the way that you maybe thought you were, right? In what ways were you self-sabotaging even your relationships? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing like, no one's over here saying like, oh, pile 2, you're a terrible person because you did these things. You're human. And humans do human things. It's a very human thing for us to screw up. Like, it just happens. It's like, we're not going out of our way and saying, oh, today's the day that I'm gonna screw everything up. Today's the day that I'm gonna make a mess of everything. Like, we don't go around saying stuff like that. Would it be funny if we did, though? Oh, man. Could you just imagine a world where people start talking to you? Hey, Joe, today's the day that I'm gonna mess up my day. How about you? Well, you know, Bob, I think so. I really think so. Today's that day. You know, could you imagine? Like, seriously. Oh, that's funny to me. Yeah, it's like this going back and forth. Like, do I do this? Do I not do this? Like, is it something that I have to change within myself, or is this something that other people have to deal with? I feel like there's just this very topsy-turvy energy that you really had to come to terms with. It's like, okay, there's only one constant in all of these connections. There's only one constant in all of these things, and that's me. But facing that part of yourself, I feel like your emotional ego just didn't want to hear it. It was like, we're going to keep blaming everyone else. And maybe for a time that was okay, but then it still was uncomfortable. And it was like, I think we got to do the one thing that we don't want to do. And your emotional ego's like, no, don't do that. And you're like, I got to. There's no other way around it. I have to. Because that's where the self-sabotage was coming. You were losing patience with yourself, maybe losing patience with others, losing patience with the process in and of itself, right? And you might have even pushed others away. It's an interesting story. Like, this is a very interesting story here, right? And maybe the other thing is when you started healing, you just let yourself live inside of this bubble. Is like, I can't be there for others. I can't give others my energy. I can't help others because I'm still just trying to figure it out myself. Right? And again, take what resonates. And this is in no way, we're not picking on you. That's not what this is. It's just, we really have to get to the bottom of it and see what is the big change that's coming. Sometimes to understand that, we have to understand what the change is referring to. And so I feel like here it's like saying you were disconnected from the inner feelings that you were having for the external life. Right? So things are happening outside of you and you're disconnected, and that's where I feel that blame came from, where it's like pointing the finger at everyone else, but never ever wanting to take that accountability. And look, I've been there. Ooh, I've been there. And that's one of the biggest things that breaks us down, is when we finally look in the mirror and say, okay, look, you and I, we got to have a heart to heart. We got to. We can't do this no more. Because this is just creating a lot of, it's just creating a lot of dissonance, creating a lot of chaos, creating a lot of hurt. And I'm done. And, you know, it's interesting because the world can also, when it's in reverse, it can reference an idealized self-image, which they talk about being conceited, right? But I don't think this is like an arrogant kind of conceit where it's like, oh yeah, I'm the best of the best of the best. It's literally following that emotional ego. It's the feelings that come with that. And I feel like there was a lot of energy blockages for you as well. A lot of lack. And it's interesting that the Ace of Wands came out, because while I was preparing for your pile, I kept seeing the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Coins, but I didn't see the Ace of Wands. And now I know why, and it's because it's showing like that there's been a period of time where you didn't have the energy to face this part of you. So it's showing me here that your emotional ego was just running rampant. I feel like your emotional ego was very strong at one point. And that's what's shifting. It's how you communicate with others. It's how you present yourself to others. This is a very difficult reading. And so if you're still here, just know I'm so proud of you. Because not everybody is willing to listen to these things, right? Not everybody is willing to work through those triggers. And I feel it. I feel the heaviness of this too, because I feel like for a long time, maybe you did have self-blame, but I feel like the self-blame was always underneath the external blame. Oh, it was this. It was my dog ate my homework. You know, it was my mother down, you know, she was down and out this week, or my kitten got in my way and I stumbled and I fell and I couldn't take care of it. Like it's almost like very heavy, because it's like I really had to stop making those excuses. But then finally, when I stopped making those excuses, there's only one person to look at. And I feel like that was something that was very scary for you. And that takes so much courage to do. And that's why I feel like someone here is going to offer you something. Yeah, something very big. We've got the Page of Cups flipping over here for the Six of Coins. It's like, this is a new beginning. And it's abundant too. This is something that's very abundant for you. And I feel like it's going to feel very vulnerable and very elusive in a way. Because you're going to be showing your dark side, the parts of you that you didn't want to deal with. You're going to be showing that to people, and that's scary. It's like, oh, like anything but that. But I don't want to let go of this opportunity either. That's really what it feels like. May we please clarify the World card, source? The Four of Wands. Letting go of old habits, shoring up what no longer serves you. And then you have the 13 card, or what you might know as the Death card, and the Hangman on the bottom. Okay, so yeah, changing your perspective. That is where the death and the rebirth comes from. Like shot through the heart here. It's like, oh, that's what hurt your heart so much, was having to face yourself. Right? And she always makes me feel like Snow White. You know, it's snowing here. There's the 7 dwarves around her. Or these gnomes. They look like little gnomes, but... And that makes me think of the mirror you know, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. I feel like that's what your emotional ego was trying to convince you of. It's like, no one understands me. I'm the only one that stands out. Like, you know, and it was just a defense mechanism and a coping mechanism. And so here, some of you very well might have come from pile number 1. This is a similar message, but a little bit different. And it's like showing here that you had to accept both the light and the dark attributes of yourself. And that's not always easy. The Knight of Coins. And now there's a new goal. And the goal is for you to have success. Oh, excuse me. The goal is for you to move beyond this. But you learn that from the past. And it's interesting because there's a lollipop here and it says hate me on the lollipop. I don't know if you can see that. So there was a lot of self-loathing that was coming up for you. And I think that's probably why that self-blame was coming in and the blame of others was coming in. But now it's learning how to communicate with yourself. That's the big change that's happening, is now you're being the nurturer to yourself. You're also being the encourager, the inspiration to yourself, and no longer letting the past you have its way like it used to, and creating all these very upsetting situations. And I feel like things are finally starting to shift for you, where it's like, even if people come in like they once did, I think I said that earlier too, it's like, or if you have a massive trigger, like you're just unbothered by it. Just like, okay, it's just not that big of a deal anymore. Not like it once was. And that's how you know you're healing, is when things don't bother you the way that they once did. Wow, okay, we've got Aries energy flipping over here. Independence, bravery, and passion. And instigation, too. But this is like that big bang energy. This is going to happen really fast. Okay, we'll check that out later. On the bottom, we have fire with Aries, Leo, Sag. So you could be an Aries. We have confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. And one thing, I've dealt with a lot of Aries in my life. I am a Pisces sun and a Sagittarius rising, Scorpio moon. And I have dealt with, my brother was an Aries, and also I had other family members who were Aries. And Aries, when they get mad, they blow. Like, seeing how all the Aries that I've ever met in my life, like when they get mad, they blow up. And then it was always so funny to me, because my brother would blow up, he would go crazy and go on this rampage, but then he would come back around and he'd apologize to everyone. Not like he meant it, but it's like, this is just what I'm supposed to do. And I honestly feel like that's how your emotional ego handled things for a long time. It's just like blow up, and then it's like, well, I don't really mean that I'm sorry, but this is what we're supposed to do. And it's almost like after a while of healing, yeah, your spirit was like, now. We really do mean that we're sorry. We really do. It was like nurturing yourself, being there for yourself is what helped you really start to shift the way that you talked to others, the way that you presented yourself. Wow, okay. Child divine flying out. We have the light attributes as innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. Oh, excuse me. I'm not tired. I don't know why I keep yawning. Yawns of affirmation or confirmation. We're just going to go with it. And the shadow is the inability to defend oneself against negative forces. And that could have also aided in having that anger. Look, you got 2 children cards here. Child nature, friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. And the shadow is a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. So there's just this shift here where it's like now, and I feel like the abuse was on your own inner child. That's what I really feel like the abuse was coming from. And now you're saying, okay, it's like the spirit, right? Child divine is now coming in and saying, we really need to stop this. This is something that we need to nurture ourselves with. Love and compassion and grace. And on the bottom we have the Messiah. The light is serving humanity with humility, and the shadow is exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. Didn't I say that earlier? It was like, that energy of, well, like your emotional ego is like, well, I'm the only one. I'm the only one, right? And we can't blame ourselves for that because it's a defense mechanism. It's caused from trauma. It's caused from having to support ourselves when we weren't getting supported. And that's why we can blame people for that all we want, but ultimately, if we peel back the layers, there's an innocent child who's cowering inside of that, just trying to be okay. And it's scary and sad, and it just needs love, that inner child. We have a koi fish spirit. There's always enough. So I feel like that's the thing, like you're realizing that there's no reason to, what was it, like even with the high demand here, it's like there's no reason to freak out about it because there's always going to be enough. Like even though it's might be saturated, it's showing you that you always have enough. And I feel like that's also just talking about abundance. There's always enough abundance, shifting the way that you see things. Okay, this card wants to come out too. River, movement, things are changing. And I keep getting the sense like maybe at one point you were really afraid of the bend, what was around the corner, right? And now you're just going with the flow and letting yourself move into whatever that brings. Yeah, finding your authenticity. And I feel like for you, Pile 2, your emotional ego is definitely one to contend with. You know, and now that you've found out, like, okay, it's not as big a bad a wolf as I thought it was, like, you're learning how to tame it in a very beautiful way. So you have this huge transformation with Sea Otter and transformation here. Look, 17 flew out, and this is the 18 card. So you're making progress. Like, that's what you're going to start seeing is this progress. And I feel like there was just this energy of feeling so overwhelmed by the process of this. Like, something that you're healing took a very long time to heal, and it was really frustrating. And just this wondering, is it ever going to get to this point where I actually feel like I'm healed? And you're getting there. We have Michael and Solas Dia with you can do it. Do not give up. Follow the paths of your wildest dreams. Right? You're going to get there. Grounding yourself is very important. I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if you've had like multiple addictions in your life, Pile number 2. And addictions don't have to be sex, drugs, and alcohol. It could be coffee. It could be sugar. It could be binge eating. It could be, you know, binge watching. It could be anything, you know, being on the phone, Facebook, social media, right? There's all kinds of addictions. I feel like there's a lot of times where you did use numbing agents to escape your reality. On the bottom, we have party. Celebration brings clarity. Hidden feelings emerge amidst the fun. Listen to the heart, not just the music. Yeah. So you've definitely let go of a lot of those old patterns and those old habits that you had, which is incredible. We have Lux Leash. The weight of continuous betting grows heavy. Know when to fold and know when to hold. Wisdom lies in knowing your limits. So maybe gambling was also an addiction that you had to overcome. An extreme risk taker. I just heard that so loud. Someone who's an extreme risk taker. Okay, so let's see if we can get some more clarifiers here. Okay. On the bottom, we have harmony. Create harmony in your relationships and surroundings. So bringing in harmony. This harmony came out in Pile 1, but I think it was harmonious relationships that came out. All right, Source, what else would you like to say? Something big coming for Pile number 2. And remember, it's like I always wish that I have very, very positive readings. Like, I really do. Sometimes, though, they're heavy. Like, and that's just a part of tarot. Like, sometimes tarot really, you know, I think Carl Jung is the one that said it. It's a tool for exploring our subconscious and understanding ourselves on a much deeper level. We have 121, harmony. Embrace harmony in your life. Seek balance between your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Yeah, so this is what's happening here, is finding a place of harmony within yourself. We've got harmony from 2 different decks. We got harmony And we've got harmony. So that's a very powerful message for you. All right, thank you. Yeah, ascension. Okay, thank you. On the bottom, we've got photography, photo, memory, souvenir, and card. Right? So definitely the memories, I think, are very difficult sometimes for you to deal with, but you're learning. It's a process. We have ascending, level up, promotion, and progress. You are making progress here. And then we have run away, get away, keep away, and give up. So there's a point where you were running away for a while, and I feel like you've overcome that now. Now you're running to yourself. How can we fix this for myself instead of running away? House 7, profound relationships, intimacy, romantic partnerships. A lot of your partnerships could have been affected along this too, and I feel like you're finally coming into a place where you're ready to invite people in again. Watch and wait. This is that message. It's like sometimes it takes a while, but watch and wait as things begin to start happening for you. And we have let it shine. Yeah, you've healed your heart. This is a completion of a process for you. Like, this was a very difficult journey that you were on. And I feel like your guides are very proud of you. I feel like your angels are incredibly happy with you. Like, everybody's so proud of how far you've come. And they know it's been a struggle. Music, harmony again. So let's just be real. If you want one word for this reading, coming is harmony. No longer is there going to be this like unbalanced energy in your life. Iceberg submerged. This is the card that really wanted to come out. And this card talks about we only see 10% of the iceberg, right? That's all we ever see. There's 90% of the iceberg underneath the surface. And I feel like you've been exploring that 90% under the surface, and it's just left you reeling. Like, wow, there's so much more to me than I knew. But in a good way. We have Artemis and Louisa Liu with 35. The path ahead will be different. From now on, you will follow the path of transformation. Pay close attention to your quality of life. We have 53, 35. Mirroring numbers here. Heart healing. Your heart is healing here. Look, new beginnings. Behind every closed door, a new beginning awaits. Seek new exits. Yeah. This was something that's very tumultuous too. Swept you away at times, but you hung in there. You were ready to fight, and you did, and you fought for yourself. Two-faced. Sometimes showing only part of ourselves to the world. This goes hand in hand with this iceberg energy. Guard vulnerability wisely. That's exactly what I've felt this whole reading. Focus. Keep your attention on your goals. So at this time, focus on what you want to manifest. And growth. Focus on personal and spiritual growth. This will help you find balance. We've got changes. 454. Embrace change and take courageous steps to unlock opportunities for personal growth and spiritual transformation. Yes. Changes. Law. We have lawyer, judge, police. Things are finally balancing out. Balance, harmony. Look for investigation, explore, and search. And this is what you've done for your journey, is exploring and searching yourself. And we have drinks. Okay, going back to that feeling like that energy of addiction, we have liquor, coffee, tea, water. I'm not saying water is an addiction, but I do feel like this is something that points to that. Caffeine could have been an addiction, sports drinks, liquor, anything like that, smoking. It feels like there's just something that you had to come face to face with in order to let go of and actually deal with yourself, right? We have to let go of our addictions in order to deal with ourselves. And sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it's very, very hard. So let's take a look at your alchemy card. I'm going to read this from the book for you. Oh, I love this. We've got the benevolent guide. Oh, look at this. You're being guided like every step of the way. Even though it's been very difficult, there's been a guide at your side. And you're never alone. So I believe this is 57. Oh, here we go. Inner voice, the guide, the ally. What did I say? It's like you're now being kind to yourself. Like you're like, hey now, hold up. We don't need to be like that anymore. That's what it feels like. And this is confirming that. It says to distinguish it from the mystical sister card, the benevolent guide card typically experienced as a presence within, not as another person. It says building connection with the Spiritus Rector requires us to engage with the unseen world, the realms barely visible and rarely discussed. Close your eyes and begin. Oh, how easy it is to doubt the presence of the Spiritus Rector. The alchemist, falling into a moment of forgetfulness, feels alone in the laboratory and begins to doubt their work. Disarray and discontent follow. What do I listen to? Where do I turn for guidance? All the while, the benevolent guide hovers close, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be heard amidst the noise of the world. It whispers words of kindness and encouragement into the ears of the alchemist. When this card appears, it asks us to recall the guidance we have received at important junctures in our lives. The benevolent presence is constant, not conditional. Now is not the time for struggle or fear. Soften into the gentle humming of the wise bee. You cannot make a wrong choice when the Spiritus Rector is near. Go deeper, read the poem I Am Not I by Juan Ramon Jimenez, and to ponder, the wind is a messenger. And I cannot make this up. I don't know if you heard it, but the wind just started blowing like crazy again. It started blowing earlier when I started this reading. And I actually had to stop because I had to go and close my awning. And I don't know if you watched the intro, but I talked about it in my intro, and then it just stopped blowing. Like it was fine, and it's been quiet ever since. And then I say that to ponder the wind. And it's sitting here and it started blowing right when I said that. That is so, so strong. So I know this was a very difficult reading, pile number 2. But it's also, because it's so difficult, it makes it that much more beautiful. Because what's coming for you is harmony and peace with self. It's the way you communicate to yourself. It's the way you communicate to others. It's recognizing the role that you play in your life as a main character. It's recognizing that while people can show up and cause disarray and chaos, it's up to us to choose whether or not we partake in that. And honestly, this pile 2 is the spiritual journey. This is a spiritual journey, and this is the part of the spiritual journey that not a lot of people are really open to exploring, because it seems so negative, but it's actually that to taste the sweetest fruit of the earth, we have to understand the most sour taste as well. And that's exactly what this feels like. Like you tasted the sour and you stomached it, and now you're getting to taste the sweet honey of life. And I love that for you, pile 2. I really do. So this is what I see for you today. If you feel like this is your message, leave a little bee emoji down below and say, I choose to taste the sweetness of life, knowing that I've already gone through enough. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me for you to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. Follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member, and I would love to see you on membership. So if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. I love that. So I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this amazing message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful clear quartz, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on something big is coming. I do want to say Thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey, this channel, this ever-growing tribe. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as our highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. All right, with that, I was getting the message of being a storyteller. I'm not sure what that has to do with it, but that was something that came in and as a channeled message, and we'll go ahead and just hop to the reading and see what else comes out in regards to that. Okay, so source, what big change, what is something big coming for pile number 3? Source, what is something big that is coming for pile number 3? What would you like to tell us today? What is something big that's coming for pile number 3? What is something big that is coming for pile number 3? Okay, interesting. We've got the 3rd house Gemini and the South Node. I will mention it just because I usually do when the 3rd house arises, is that's usually my twin flame energy. However, that does not make this a twin flame pile, okay? Just pointing it out there. So what we're talking about could refer to the connection between you and your twin, or something that has to do with a blockage that is arriving there, okay? Now that we've got that out of the way, we're looking at childhood learning, the development period of your life. This is a part of your South Node that you're letting go of. Childhood wounds has been the theme of this reading. 222 is coming out for you as well as a reoccurring number. Also, trusting the process is something that's coming in really strongly here for you. I feel like for you, pile number 3, it's been really difficult for you to trust that you are overcoming the wounds that happened when you were very young. It's very difficult for you to trust that things are working out as they're supposed to. It's very difficult for you to trust that you are moving beyond those, okay? And so that's definitely the theme that we're looking at today with your reading. But anything with the 3rd house, it can talk about siblings. You could have been an only child, but I do feel like for many of you that you had siblings who were more looked after than you were, or who were the center of attention, who took all of the attention away from you, or your parents were more inclined to look after them, and that greatly developed, like there's this energy of fighting with this development process, right? Like I don't have someone who can nurture me so that I can develop in the way that I need to, but instead you became your own parent and had to develop yourself, which created a situation where you had to learn the hard way for everything, and you never asked for help. And you learned that it was better to not ask for help, because asking for help, I feel like, caused a lot of chaos. Like, it's like if you went to someone in your family and was like, I need your help, and everyone's like, but we go to you for help, right? Like, that puts a lot of pressure on a child. That puts so much heavy energy on a child. It's like, okay, so who am I supposed to go and ask if everybody comes to me? Like, where's there this give and take? And there's not. And there's this energy here where it's like figuring out how you feel about yourself, about life, about everything that's going around you, about connecting with other people. I do feel at some point there was this energy where it's difficult for you to connect with anybody because of the fear of another party coming in, and this someone else is going to be the favorite. Because I don't belong in the center row. Like, I don't belong in the center of attention with a person or with a connection. It's interesting that we're talking about Mercury energy here, but I do feel this connection, like it has to do with connections. And we see with the South Node, this is you letting go of South Node energy. This is you letting go of the baggage, the past energy that's been so difficult for you, and it has created a lot of holding people at arm's length coming in. Let's get some tarot out. Let's see if we can understand this a little bit better. Okay. It is really cold here today, and it's the first time that it's been so cold. So I feel like whoever it is that's been in your life has been very cold to you. So it feels like, it's like, for me to mention it, it's like someone who's been very cold and distant. It could have been your family. It could have been your friends. I feel like you're very succinct and direct when you talk. Like, you're very to the point and curt. And people might take it as you being rude, but it's just easier to be direct like that than it is to go into depth about something. And I think that's scary for you to have to share your feelings. Like, having to share your feelings with others is something that's just frightening. Like, how can I do that when I was never allowed space to share my feelings with others? Or I had to take care of my parents, or I had to take care of my siblings. Maybe you had a single parent and you were the extra parent, right? Even though you might have been the youngest one. Whatever it is, you don't have to be the youngest one. That doesn't, that's not going to resonate with everyone. Let's see what comes through. So, Source, what is something big coming for pile number 3? You just kind of understand this a little bit more. What is something big that's coming for pile number 3, Source? Okay. So we have the Ace of Cups. It flipped out. It's not on camera. Hold on just a second. My nose is itching. It flipped out in, okay, it wants to come out in the reverse, because when I pushed it, that top end went, I was trying to push it from the center here, but it came out horizontal. And I feel like self-love is something that is challenging for you, because how do I love myself when I only know how to actually care for others? But it's not even a caring for others that you're doing. It's just literally, it feels like autopilot. It's like there's not really emotions attached to it. It's very disassociated from emotional well-being, emotional connection, building with one another. It's like, say, like you have a sibling that's hurt. You show up and you take care of everything. Like, you go and talk to the doctors. You make sure everything is taken care of. You make sure that they have nothing to worry about. And it's like, I know my siblings hurt, and I know that I should be worried about them, and I know that I should care about that. But it's this disconnect that's happened between you and your emotions. This air energy has cut off anything that can be watery in your life. And that's what it feels like here. So with the Ace of Cups coming out in the reverse, we see here it's like just huge disappointments that have happened in your life that have created that disconnect from your emotional well-being. Don't worry, we're going to get into what those blessings are. We have the Seven of Cups coming out. Look, a lot of emotion. Yeah, in the reverse, the Seven of Cups coming out in the reverse here. An inability to set emotional boundaries. This is why it's like, I want to enjoy life. And this is a story that it feels like pile number 3. It's like you wanted to love yourself. You wanted to get into the self-love, is you saw the potential. But to love yourself means to actually feel emotions. And to feel emotions is terrifying, because if I feel one emotion, that means that the water gates are going to open up, and who knows when that's going to stop. And so it's coming at everything with this very logical way. It's like, oh no, like I like that. I like that self-love is a thing, especially with the Ace of Cups here. It's like, I love that self-love is a thing. I just don't think it's for me, because that's just too much emotion. And it wouldn't surprise me if you were put in the position of being a father in your life. Like, it doesn't matter your gender, right? It doesn't matter what you identify with. But what I'm saying is, like, you could have been forced into the masculine role in life, like having a single mother, or having a father who worked all the time, and having a mother who was at home trying to deal with the kids and just was overwhelmed and was relying on someone, and no one stepped up. And so it was like, well, if no one's going to step up, I guess I'm going to, right? It was like almost in a way being forced into it. After a while, it probably felt like you were forced into it. But what it was is that you were a very sensitive child. And as a sensitive child, you felt that discomfort with everyone. And so you took it upon yourself to fulfill that void. Nothing bad. This is not saying like you shouldn't have done that or anything. It's just that that's how much you felt. That's how emotional you were as a child. That's how connected you were to your feelings. But then what happened is you started taking care of everybody, and you started getting neglected in taking care of everyone. And slowly it started chipping away at your ability to feel things deeply. And it's not that you don't feel things deeply now. It's just there's a sense of, this is my emotions and this is everything else. And as long as I keep my emotions over here under wraps, I'm okay. So you don't allow yourself to cry. You might not, like, even at a movie where everybody else is crying, you might be looking around like, yeah, this is really sad. And you might be looking at everybody like, I really wish I could cry, but I know if I start crying right now, it's over. It's over, and y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but, you know, that's what it feels like. It just feels like you know that this is what you need to do, but the fear behind it is massive. And that's why we have the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Cups here. It's, wow, and the Ace of Swords on the bottom. Yeah. Misguided, right? A misguided reasons. Going down this road because this is all I know. That's being misguided, right? But that came from survival. And that's what they're showing here. And you're very grounded. You're a very sensible individual. You're very capable of taking care of things. But even with the Queen of Coins, like, she can be nurturing, but she's more like, she's connected to Capricorn, and Capricorn's connected to Saturn. Okay, and so you have this energy of that's kind of rigid, right? It's kind of rigid and very to the point, very much like, we're not going to get lovey-dovey. It's very cut and dry. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry you hurt your ankle, right? I'm patching it up for you. You're good to go. Here's a pill, here's an aspirin. I got to go back to do things that I was doing before. Like, there's no, are you okay? Like, what can I do to make it better? And doing that for yourself means that you would have to face these repressed emotions. Like, and we have the star underneath that, but there's hope for you. So I feel like Source is painting the story of where we're going. Okay, that's why it's a storyline. The storyteller, you got the storyteller, this energy storyteller coming through so strong before I started your reading. And so it's like this energy of, we have to tell you the story so you're like, oh, okay, I see how this plays a part. I see what's going on here. But there's this energy right now where it's like, you're focused on the material world, and you're turning your back on those repressed emotions. Like, that's okay. They're compartmentalized. I don't have to face those. I don't have to deal with those. Like, we'll just leave those over there. That's where it's safe. What do we got here? Yeah. Not seeing that this is creating a lot of dissonance in your life. This has been something that's been really weighing on you for a long time. It's created a lot of emotional turmoil, but it's also caused a lot of mental turmoil. Like, your thoughts have played off your emotions have played off your thoughts, and it's like a huge rabbit hole. And you're just like, you look in and you see the potion in there bubbling, the potion being your emotions. You see it bubbling and you're like, that looks dangerous. I'm just going to gently close that lid there, and we'll just tuck this away over there and let it brew some more and hope that things work out. And I feel like this is what something big is coming, and I'm not trying to scare you here or anything or worry you, but there's like a huge release. The straw that broke the camel's back. That's what I just heard. Yeah, there's something that you're going to experience or go through that is like, I can't hold it in anymore. And it's going to be, someone is going to open the floodgates, but it's for purpose. It feels like it's for purpose so that you can grow and let go of this South Node energy. Let me please clarify the Ace of Cups. Look, the Queen of Cups coming out. Yep. Look, pulling away. Pulling away. Here it comes. And you're like, no. Like, let me even sick my sea dragon on you. Like, no. We can't do that, right? But what was I saying? Like, the Queen of Cups is this very emotional, very loving, very kind, very nurturing. And that's the thing. Like, this is what's hidden in that compartmentalized place, is this. Queen of Cups energy that is you. You're actually an incredibly sensitive, loving person. And I feel like that might seem odd for someone to tell you that, pile 3, or it might just be like, well, I know that, but there's like a, yeah, but, type of energy here. And there's just this pulling away, like, no, I can't have that breached. Like, we can't deal with that. Like, that's going to be detrimental to me, and I can't deal with that. But it's the release that you need. Can we please clarify the 7 of Cups, Source? Okay, thank you. All right, on the bottom, we've got the 9 of Wands. Yeah, it's just better being over there, over my shoulder all the time, like blending into the wall. I don't have to focus on it. I'd rather just stay in my mind, right? In my thoughts. I'd rather just stay in this logical place. This logical place is safe. I don't want to start again. That's, I think, the biggest fear here, starting again, like having to like block that all out again. But you're not seeing the dissonance from it and how much that's actually hurting you just yet. Yeah, we have the 6 of Coins. This is interesting. When you begin to feel your emotions and this healing, and it's not to say that you're not an empath, right? I actually feel like you're an incredible empath. I feel like you're very, very aware of what people are feeling, but it's almost like Sheldon energy from The Big Bang, like not unaware, but if Sheldon were aware of what people were feeling but still showed up as Sheldon, that's kind of like that feeling I'm getting. It's just like, oh, like you see someone that's hurting and you're like, oh wow, you're hurting, like I'm sorry you're going through this, but you're just very matter of fact about it. And it kind of confuses people because it's like, well, how did pile 3 know that I was hurting? But they're kind of distant in like helping me with this, and it's just because of that dissonance between your emotions. And it's scary to think that if I feel my emotions, that's actually going to be reciprocal to my energy. But it is, and it's going to open up a way for you to connect with others in a very deep way. Wow. Look at this. We have the King of Wands here. It's going to bring a lot of confidence. So this is like confidence in who you are that's coming, and this could be past energy, what we were talking about, the story leading up to this, right? This could be past, and then the clarifiers are present. It just, take it as it resonates where you're at. But I feel like the thing is that in feeling your emotions, finally, you're able to set solid boundaries. You're able to recognize that you're not there just to be a doormat for everyone. You're recognizing that you matter because you do. I feel like everybody's put you in a position where it's like you only matter when. You only matter if. And that has so much to do with where you're at mentally. And I feel like that's something that led you into this place of being in this Queen of Coins energy. Like money probably comes easy to you. If it doesn't, it might not seem like it does, but I bet if you look back on your life, you would notice that every time that you needed a job, you've got a job. Or every time you needed to pay a bill, you probably got the money together to pay the bill. It didn't mean you didn't struggle, but it was because manifesting material things was so much easier than manifesting things of emotional type, emotional sorts. And that's because it was this repression. Things hidden in the dark. Let's leave them in the dark. This is powerful stuff. This is a powerful reading overall. And it's interesting because in this King of Wands card, you see how she's holding this little, it's a baby, but it looks like an ice cream cone, right? So it's like nurturing the baby within, nurturing the child within. I feel like that's something, and look, she's just this very kind of melancholy face. It's just kind of like, yes, this is something I have to do, but, it's like no real joy, not even real relief. It's just, meh. But there's something about nurturing your inner child and allowing yourself to feel these emotions that you haven't felt for a long time. that gives you the freedom of connecting with your higher self in a unique way. And I feel like this also helps open up your gifts to what your being an empath means, right? Because there's gifts that are connected to being an empath, and whatever they are, right? They don't necessarily have to be psychic. They could be gifts of healing, or gifts of knowledge, or gifts of wisdom, or it could be gifts of psychic. But it's like this is the path to opening up those gifts on a new level. But there's just this disconnect. This very logical way of being is being asked to basically put this on the back burner and begin to embrace this emotional well that is overflowing and needs to be tended to. And it's just, I just feel very scared right now. Like, that's what I feel. It's just very scary. Like, this, I don't know if I want to deal with that. I don't know if I want to deal with that. Can it be anything but that? That's like this energy that's coming in. But also underneath, it feels like it's like, I knew this was going to come. I knew that this was going to be a part of it. But it's also that, like, maybe that's just not for me. Maybe feeling my emotions like that's just not for me. Like, I can understand where everyone else is coming from, and I will always help them. Like, you help because you want to. That's what I was saying. It's so strange that Sheldon is the energy that I was led to, because that's what it just feels like. You're just so matter of fact, and it's like you're not really a jerk about things, but people might take it as you being a jerk because it's so blunt and matter of fact, and it's so succinct. And you know, it's like, as you watch the show, if you've watched Big Bang, like, you watch Sheldon develop and you actually recognize and realize the type of person that he is, and you can't help but fall in love with him. And I feel like that's the thing, like, people who know you for any amount of time, like, they can't help but fall in love with you, and they're like, oh, that's just how pile 3 is. But it's actually not. Like, it's not really how you are at all. That's just the coping mechanism that you've learned through the trauma that you experienced growing up. You're actually a much deeper person than anybody in your life knows. Wow. Just next level, pile 3. Let's get some oracles out for you. Source, what is this something big for pile number 3? Thank you. On the bottom, look, conjunction. Yeah, this is it. A union merging and coming together. You're finally merging with your emotional self. The you that you have packed away and hid in the furthest back reaches of your thought addict. There's just no getting away from it anymore. Athlete. Light, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, spirit, and strength of spirit. You have the shadow, which is the misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Yeah, so I feel like this is what forced you into that. There's someone here who was invulnerable and someone who was very entitled, and I feel like that's what the position was that you were in, whether that was with siblings or with your parents. There's just people who felt entitled to your emotions, and they felt not just your emotions, but your support. That's what it was. They felt entitled to your support. It's like, oh, pile 3 was only ever born to give me support. Wow, that's really selfish. Make your dreams real with Spider Spirit. Yeah, you're weaving things together here, and you're getting to that point where it's like, this is just a part of the next chapter of weaving your dreams into reality, and it's a part of your spiritual growth. I really do love this reading, pile 3. Like, seeing how incredibly deep you are, how incredibly deep you are, and just knowing that there's so many people that are missing out on the beauty of you, maybe even including yourself. You know, it's just, I'm truly honored to be able to get to connect with someone like you. And it's so unfortunate that so many people have no idea just how loving and kind and amazing you are, because they've gotten so used to using you. And that's not fair. That's not fair to you. And I'm so sorry about that. Wow. We have shaman with ancient healing wisdom. Yeah, so this is going to be, when this comes in, this is going to open you up to your Akashic records. This is going to open you up to understanding so much more about yourself. But also this is going to open you up to being there for yourself in a way that you didn't know was possible. And I feel like that's scary in a way, but it's also giving you a sense of peace in a way, because it's like, oh, finally, like someone's gonna be there for me, even if it's me. Sacrifice, bull. Yeah, this is something that's very stubborn. This is Taurus energy for me, with the sacrifice here. But you see, like, this is like causing a lot of mental anguish. Like, oh no, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can go through that. I just don't know. But the sacrifice is letting go of that stubbornness and allowing things to happen and to build on that foundation. Okay. And we have polar bear with ancestors here. Okay, this is that your ancestors are walking you through this, but this is also that energy. Like, there's people here. I keep hearing that song. You're as cold as ice. I don't know who sings that. I think it's an 80s song, or maybe a late 80s, early 90s song, Cold as Ice. If you know, definitely comment down below for other pile number 3s. I truly do appreciate you guys. You're so awesome. You always help me out, and I just really, really appreciate you so much. This is just showing, it's like there's someone here who's incredibly cold to you, and it's like you kind of became the front line, the front defense for everything, and also the one that got everything poured on them. And I feel like your ancestors are helping you to heal this, to let it go. Your ancestors don't want to see you suffer anymore. We have Metatron and Istanya. Be sincere and fearless. There's no point in pretending or changing yourself for other people. Yeah, you're sincere. I feel like you don't even actually know how sincere you are. Like, in reality, the true you, the authentic you, like, you're working on it. You've been working on it, right? Authenticity and healing is a lifelong journey. Like, we're always discovering new things about ourselves, but I actually don't think that you, pile 3, recognize or realize just how genuine and sincere you are when you begin to feel those emotions again. Whoa, okay. Relax. Says a spontaneous getaway will help you, or will recharge your energy, renew your spirit. Take the trip, renew your essence. Yeah, you're renewing your essence, reconnecting. Okay, thank you. On the bottom, we have power play. Covertly manipulating the situation behind the scenes, guiding the course of events. Stay calm. So you've been manipulated. There's been a lot of people who have used you, abused you. There's been just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Maybe you've been completely aware of it. Maybe you haven't. Either way, you've learned how to find peace in the chaos. And that's why I feel like you're just very... almost monotone is the energy that's coming. It's like this monotone energy that has overlaid everything in your life. We have wisdom. Seek wisdom and learn from every situation. So that's the other thing, is like you're this very wise person. Like, you notice everything. You're very observant, right? You're very, very keen. You're aware. You know exactly what's going on. And you see behind the veil, like you're behind the curtains. Like, you see what people are doing. You see what people are up to. Like I said, it's like sometimes you might not recognize when you're getting manipulated, but you're always aware of people. And sometimes very scary. So like this awareness of their feelings and how they are. And it's like you showing up and being like, hey, I recognize that you're not feeling that good. Like, I think this will help you. And they're like, wow, how did you know? And it's like, I just knew. Like, it's almost like you get embarrassed by it too. You're just like, I just knew. Like, okay, like, don't make a big deal about it. Okay, please don't. Like, we have renewal with 890. You're experiencing renewal. Yes. And fresh beginnings. Release the past and embrace opportunities for growth and transformation ahead. Renewing your spirit. Oh, pile 3. I want to give you a big, big hug. And I feel like that's also odd for you. You might have been a big hugger when you were younger, but I feel like lately that's maybe not a thing for you. And just know that that's okay. That's okay. Wherever you're at, that's okay. We have 747. Trust your intuition and make practical decisions that align with your higher purpose. Your guardian angels are acknowledging your efforts. Reassurance. Yes. All right, let's get some of these and then we'll head into your oracles. Source, what else for pile number 3? Okay, thank you. What else? What else for pile number 3, source? We have some more information. Oh, okay, wow. Thank you. Reconcile. We have repair, cure, understanding, and concession. So someone could come back and reconcile with you, but I do feel like this is curing the heart. That's the first energy that I got when I saw that. Curing the heart. Okay. And this is a big change. Like, this will be very different than any way that you've been recently in your life. This will be very different from any way that you have been your whole life. North node, destined to have. Moving from the south node into the north node. Destined to have. This is something you're destined to have. Like, you're destined to be your most authentic self, and I feel like it's just been a journey to get there. We have yang energy with proactivity, expression, doing and moving forward with Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius energy. Taking action against this once and for all. No longer just shoving it in a box. We have beggar energy here with light attributes, confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humiliation, compassion, and self-esteem. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. We have shadow attribute is dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. And I feel like this is what you've had to deal with. People begging for your attention, people only wanting you for what you could give them. And we have Prince here with romantic charm, potential for power. And the shadow is using power for self-aggrandizement. Yeah, so you're definitely opening up to this more charming, light-hearted being that resides within you that's always been a part of you. Number 3, with Armadillo Spirit, set healthy boundaries. And with the 7 of Cups coming out, this is a very powerful card. Right? Because it's all about setting boundaries. But in the reverse, we see it's a lack of emotional boundaries. Like, you're not able to say enough is enough. It's like, this is just what I do. But now you're learning to set healthy boundaries. And setting those healthy boundaries helps you to begin to connect with this emotional well within you. Invocation with ceremony and spirits helping you. Sources helping you. Your angels are helping you. There's guides here for you that are helping you. Your ancestors are helping you. They're connecting with you. Wolf instinct. Yeah. This is just the way of the path. It's like instinctually you've just been guided this way and you've been going and you're doing an amazing job and you're just okay, like this is where I'm going. I don't think like self-love was ever that one thing where you're like, yeah, let me pour into self-love, because it just kind of always felt foreign to you. But now you're getting to this point where it's like, okay, this is just kind of how it goes. And you're recognizing how far you've come. And that now you're kind of being taken over here by your own spirit, by your higher self. Like, this is where we're going now. We have Londa and Clarita. Life on Earth is a heroic journey. Mastering the visible and the earthly is as important as mastering the invisible and the mystic. And so that's what you're doing now, is tapping into the mystic, the invisible, what can't be seen. And there's a sense of purifying that's coming through here. Mirror of reality. Reality mirrors not what you see, but what you understand. Reflect to perceive the real. Reflection brings clarity. Seeing things clearly now. Right? Getting out of this energy of being misguided by your beliefs or thoughts from the past. Reign begins. Be the master of your destiny, career, and finances. You have the power to dominate, and you're seeing just how powerful you really are. Alignment. Align your actions and thoughts with your desires. Yes, coming into alignment. This is so powerful. This reading is incredibly powerful. We have law, coming into balance, coming into alignment. We have lawyer, judge, and police. But this is also showing me that energy too. It's like this very succinct, serious, very cut cutthroat. That's what I was going to say. Cutthroat, but very to the chase, cut to the chase type of attitude. That's that very seriousness of life. And it's not like you're a super serious person, and maybe you are, but I feel like it's just like, why I would love to be different, but this is just how I am. But what Source is saying here is it's like this is actually part of your coping for the trauma that you experienced as a child. Like, miracle, dream come trues, get what you want. Yeah, you are coming out of this. Talent. See, born with features, personality. You've been born with a great talent here. And I feel like that's something that's going to open up for you when you begin to connect with your emotions. Is whatever that talent's connected to is it's gonna come through as well. It could be music, it could be writing, it could be anything. We have sunset. Wow. Lost loved one, memories, elder, and nightfall. So there's someone here from the spirit realm who's helping you. It could be a mother, a father. This could be a grandfather, a grandmother. This could be a long lost past ancestor. Okay, so that's what it is. This is your ancestors coming in. Very powerful here. This is a very powerful message for you. Your ancestors want to see you succeed, and they're tired of the way the family has treated you. They're tired of this generational curse getting cycled around again. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We've got Against Nature. Look at this with this black box in the middle of it. So what it feels like, it's like this is the black hole upon which you force all your emotions into. And everything else is lit up around it. But this is just, nope, that's cool. They can go in there and that's where it's safe. All right, realizing this. It's against your nature to be that way. I almost opened up right to it. Okay. So we have, be mindful if this card appears with the Saturn on the Iron card, or the Iron card. All three indicate overarching, what does that say? I'm sorry, overreaching. Hold on. I can't read this here. There we go. Overarching. Yeah, it's overarching structure that may need revision. And then it says, think of this card as trying to force a square peg into a round hole. There's likely a solution waiting for you to see it. Shake things up, dance, tell a joke, take a break. It says willfulness or force or control. On some level, we all know when we are going against nature. We recognize it in feelings of impatience and agitation that arise when trying to force certain outcomes. The Contra Nocturum card arrives to remind the alchemists that they cannot control the uncontrollable. Nature has its way, enveloping us in a wild narrative that we can collaborate in, but not dictate. No matter our efforts to manage every aspect of our lives, the mess ensues. Spring is soggy. The lotus requires mud. People do what they do. This card heeds a warning not to fight the flow of Mother Nature or destiny. Once we loosen the grip on what we think life should look like, a whole new realm of possibilities awakens. Now is the time to be radically open to what nature has in store for you. To go deeper, it says, watch the Talking Heads music video, Nothing But Flowers, and to ponder, what we resist persists. Yeah, so that makes so much sense, right? It's just like resisting your true nature. This is what it really feels like. And it's like eventually that's all going to come exploding out and leave a bigger mess than what you might have thought possible. So something big is going to happen that's going to trigger this for you. But once it starts, I feel like this is Source coming in with this warning that this is something that's meant to start. It has to start. But once it starts, if you open yourself up to feeling these emotions and knowing that it is okay to feel whatever is coming through, it is okay. This is going to set you up for success in a way that you've not had before. And you're going to start seeing a lot of your stagnant manifestations start flowing in. Because it's almost like letting this feeling out is like opening space for those manifestations to come in. Okay. And I know this was kind of a difficult reading, but it's actually really beautiful because you deserve to be yourself. All of it. Not because anybody is asking, but because you deserve to experience what life offers that way. Pile 3. Okay? So this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little... Is there a black square? If there's not a black square, use the black heart emoji down below and say, I choose to let my emotions surface, knowing that in this healing, I get to be authentically whole. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. You can follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member. I would love to see you on memberships, but if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, and a special shout out to your ancestors for coming into this reading today. And until next time, pile number 3, first and foremost, here's a gigantic energetic hug, okay? You're so amazing. Okay. I love you so much. I'm so honored to have gotten to connect with you. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.